Let us start with our prayers. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Ganana Antva Ganapatikam Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravasthavam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspata Shrinvan Utibisi Dasadanam Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Narada Uvacha Pranamya Sarasadevam Gauri Putram Vinayakam Bhaktavasam Smare Nityam Mayuk Kamartha Siddhaye Pratamam Bhaktatundam Cha Ekadantam Dvitiyakam Trutiyam Krishna Pingaksham Gajabhaktram Chaturtakam Lambodharam Panchamam Cha Shashtam Vikitameva Cha Saptamam Viknarajam Cha Dhumravadnam Tathashtamam Namamam Balachandram Cha Dashamam Tu Vinayakam Ekadasham Ganapatim Dvadasham Tu Gajananam Dvadashaitani Namani Trisandhyam Yaf Patel Naraha Nacha Vigna Bhayam Tasya Sarva Siddhikaram Prabho Sarva Siddhikaram Prabho Iti Narada Purane Sankatanashana Dinesha Stotram Sampurnam. We will chant Guru Stotra. Shri Guru Stotra. Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sthavaram Jangamam Vyaptam Yatkinchit Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sarvashruti Shiro Ratna Viradita Padambujaha Vedantam Bhuja Suryo Yaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanya Shashvata Shantaha Vyomatito Niranjanaha Bindunada Kalatitaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jnana Shakti Samarudaha Tattvamala Vibhushitaha Mukti Mukti Pradata Cha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Aneka Janma Samprapta Karma Bandha Vidahine Atmajnana Pradanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shoshanam Bhavasindhuscha Jnapanam Sara Sampadaha Gurof Padodakam Samyak Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Na Guru Radikam Tattvam Na Guru Radikam Tapaha Tattvajnanat Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mannata Shri Jagannatha Na Guru Shri Jagadguruhu Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gururadiranagischa Guruf Paramadaivatam Guruv Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasyadiraksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. We'll now chant Guru Paduka Stotra. अनंत संसार समुद्रतार नौकायिताभ्यां गुरु भक्तिदाभ्यां वैराग्य साम्राजद पूजनाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरु पादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरु पादुकाभ्यां कवित्ववाराशि निशाकराभ्यां दौर्भाग्यतावाम्बुदमालिकाभ्यां दूरीकृतानम्रविपतिताभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नताययो श्रीपतितं समीयुः कदाचिदप्याशु दरिद्रवर्याः मूकाश्च वाचस्पतितां हिताभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नालीकनिकाशपदाहृदाभ्यां नानाविमोहादि निवारिकाभ्यां नमज्जनाभीष्टगतिप्रदाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां कृपालिमौली प्रजरत्नकान्ति सरिद्विराज जशकन्यकाभ्यां कृपद्वदाभ्यां नतलोकपङ्क्ते नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां पापान्धकारार्कपरम्पराभ्यां तापत्रयाहीन्द्रखगेश्वराभ्यां जाड्याब्धिसंशोषणवाडवाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां शमादिषड्कप्रदवैभवाभ्यां समादिदान धृतदीक्षिताभ्यां रमाधवाङ्घ्रि स्थिरभक्तिदाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां स्वार्चापराणामखिलेष्टदाभ्यां स्वाहा सहायाक्षधुरन्धराभ्यां स्वान्ता च भाव प्रदपूजनाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां कामादिसर्पत्रजगारूढाभ्यां विवेकवैराग्य निधिप्रदाभ्यां बोधप्रदाभ्यां धृतमोक्षदाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां. Let's now chant Dakshinamurti Stotra. Dhyanam followed by Ashtakam. Maunavyakhya prakatita parabrahma tattvam yuganam varsishtante vasaprishiganaihi avritam brahmanishtai आचार्येन्द्रं करकलित चिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मारामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषन्नं सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात् त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं नमामि चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयाः निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम दीक्षांताष्टकम्। विश्वं दर्पण दृश्यमान नगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतम् पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्बोधूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोध समये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये। बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः माया कल्पित देशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम् मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये। यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकमसत्कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यः साक्षात् करणात् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये। नानाचित्रकटोदरस्थितमहादीपप्रभाभास्वरं ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकर्णद्वारा बहिस्पन्दते जानामीति तमेव भान्तमनुभागे तत्समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये। देहं प्राणमपीन्द्रियाण्यपि चलान् बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः स्त्रीबालान् भजडोपमास्त्वहमिति भ्रान्ता वृषंवादिनः माया शक्तिविलासकल्पितमहाव्यामोह संहारिणे तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये। राहुग्रस्तदिवाकरेन्दु सदृशो माया समाच्छादनात् सन्मात्रकरणोपसंहरणतो यो भूत्सुषुप्तः पुमान् रागस्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये यः प्रत्यभिज्ञायते तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये। बाल्यादिष्वपि जागृतादिषु तथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वपि व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानमहमित्यन्तः स्फुरन्तं सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये। विश्वं पश्यति कार्यकारणतया स्वस्वामि सम्बन्धतः शिष्याचार्यतया तथैव पितृपुत्राध्यात्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जागृति वा येष पुरुषो माया परिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये। भूरम्भांस्य नलो नीलोम्बरम् अहर्नाथो हिमांशुः पुमान् इत्याभाति चराचरात्मकमिदं यस्यैव मूर्त्यष्टकम् नान्यत्किञ्चन विद्यते विमृशतां यस्मात् परस्मात् विभोः तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये। सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मादमुष्मिन् स्थले तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात् ध्यानाच्च संकीर्तनात् सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं स्वतः सिद्ध्ये तत्पुनरष्टधा परिणतं च ऐश्वर्यमव्याहतम्। We'll chant Gita Dhyana and then go into Om Pathaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Graditam Puranam Vina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusamdadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravindaya Tapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पल शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला। अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनीं सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तककेशवः। पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम्। लोके सज्जन षट्पतैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारत पंकजं कलिमल रघुवंशिनः श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः विदेवैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। चैप्टर 2 श्रीमद् भगवद गीता। ओम श्री कृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः। श्री भगवानुवाच। We will chant from verse number 52, 53. You'll understand this and then go into 54 and 55. We'll try to do up to 55 today. We'll definitely do up to 54. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Slowly I chant. Yada te moha kalilam, yada te moha kalilam, yada te moha kalilam, buddhir vyatitarishyati, buddhir pratitarishyati, बुद्धिर प्रतितरिष्यति। Full line. यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति, यथा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति, तदा गन्तासि निर्भेदं, तथा गन्तासि निर्भेदं, तथा गन्तासि निर्भेदं, श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च, श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च। Verse number 50. We'll see two of them. Shruti vipratipanna te yada sthasyati nischala, yada sthasyati nischala, yada sthasyati nischala. Once more. Shruti vipratipanna te yada sthasyati nischala, Shruti vipratipanna te यदा स्थास्यति निश्चला, समाधावचलां बुद्धि, समाधावचला बुद्धिः, समाधावचला बुद्धिः, तदा योगमवाप्स्यसि, तदा योगमवाप्स्यसि, तदा योगमवाप्स्यसि। Full line. समाधावचला बुद्धिः, समाधावचला बुद्धिः, तदा योगमवाप्स्यसि। Whole verse. श्रुति विप्रतिपन्ना ते यथा स्थास्यति निश्चला, समाधावचला बुद्धिः, तदा योगमवाप्स्यसि। Once more. श्रुति विप्रतिपन्ना ते यथा स्थास्यति निश्चला, समाधावचला बुद्धिः, तथा योगमवाप्स्यसि. So in these two verses, the teacher, Sri Krishna, in our lives the Guru, is explaining the benefits of Karma Yoga. See if you can quickly recall, chapter 2 started with fundamental problem of dukkha. Dukkha is illegitimate. That illegitimate dukkha has come out of ignorance. Ajnanam. Ajnanam can be removed only by jnanam. Jnanam of what? Jnanam of realities. What are the realities? Absolute reality, transactional reality, subjective reality. You have to be alive to the realities and to understand absolute reality and how we can relate transactional reality, subjective reality to absolute reality and to our personal lives. We need a prepared antakarana. Antakarana means the instrument placed inside. We need a prepared antakarana. How to prepare the antakarana? What is the problem with about preparation of antakarana? The antakarana is full of raga and dvesha. Lot of compulsive desires. It is called a raga because there is an urge to fulfill them. There is a compulsive desire to fulfill them. Fulfilling the raga makes me a happy person. Non-fulfillment of a raga makes me an unhappy person. Warding away of a dvesha makes me a happy person. And the coming of dvesha makes me an unhappy person. And it's very compulsive. It has a hold on me. And when raga dvesha have a hold on me, I have a conflict-ridden antakarana. The conflict-ridden antakarana can be resolved. A certain objectivity can be obtained at the relative level. Absolute jnanam will give you absolute objectivity. But at the relative level, we have to understand the difference between, we should have the vivekam, the discretion between what is good for me and what is pleasant for me. Okay? What is pleasant for me perhaps may not be good for me. What is good for me may perhaps not be pleasant. So I must have the viveka to understand what is good for me and what is not good for me. Having the viveka about what is good for me and what is not good for me, I must have the vairagya to move away from what is not good for me. Then I must have viveka, discretion about what is proper and what is not proper. Because there are so many things being quoted around. Ends justify means. No. Dharma doesn't say that. It says end must be proper. The means must also be proper. Therefore, it comes under the category of dharma. I must know what is proper and I must know what is not proper. Dharma, adharma, viveka. Knowing what is proper and what is not proper, I must have the vairagya to desist from following what is not proper. Okay? And for following this, the teacher gives you a sadhana, a means. Sadhya is what? Prepared buddhi, chitta shuddhi, a prepared antakarana for understanding the absolute reality. That is the sadhya vastu, the goal I am supposed to reach. And I am the sadhaka. And for me to reach the sadhya, the teacher gives me a sadhana. That sadhana is called karma yoga. Karma not changing at all, karma being the same, the attitude towards the results, towards the outcomes changes. That is karma yoga. I do all the action that I am required to do. I pursue artha and kama. I pursue material prosperity. I pursue pleasures. I pursue security, so-called security. I pursue entertainment. I pursue all of them. But the only difference between an ordinary karma and a karma yoga is my attitude towards the outcome is different. My performance of the action, the attitude towards performance of the action, and the attitude towards the outcome is different. The difference in the attitude gives me a relatively conflict-free antakarna. It's all about a cognitive process. Absolute reality is a cognitive process. Absolute reality is called here moksha. Knowing absolute reality is moksha. Once you know the absolute reality, you're free from the pressures of success, failure. Dukkha is blown away. Once you know the reality. And to know the reality, this instrument of knowing should have the patrata, should have the capacity to comprehend, receive, assimilate, own up, and relate. There is no theory, there is no practice. A lot of people would have read translation. First it is theoretical, then we have applied. There is no theory, no practice. You have to learn to relate to it. You have to ask the question, how does it apply to me and my life? And for doing that, the sadhana given is karma yoga. Karma yoga gives you two results. The results are samatva, kaushalya. Samatva is a balance. Kaushala karma is excellence in performance of the action. A certain I perform an action excellently just because I love doing it well. I love doing what I do well. People who concentrate on doing things well itself gives you a lot of fulfillment. Doing with balance gives you a lot of fulfillment. Now, what is this balance? And what is the attitude towards the result of the action? When I perform with what is called Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. At the basic level, we can say performing for a bigger cause, apart from my selfish self. For the person who is bhakti inclined, who is inclined towards Saguna Devata, an Ishta Devata, an Ishvara Swarupa, an Ishvara's form, such a person can do it as an offering unto Ishvara. When I do it as an offering unto Ishvara, my action becomes excellent by itself. A simple check. Simple check. You are doing a puja. You did Ganesh Chaturthi. When you are doing the puja, when one flower is a little faded, or one of the items for your, let's say you boiled the milk a little extra, your payasam has become burnt payasam, or your vada has become jet black. Would you offer it as nivedana? No. That means you want a certain excellence in the performance of action. That is called Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. At a relatable level, at our level, relatable level, the society itself can become Ishvara for you. Jagat can be Ishvara. People can be Ishvara. The whole world can be Ishvara. And you can say, when I am going to do something, it is as an offering to the society. And when I do it as an offering to the society, the quality of my service becomes something extraordinary. Okay? This is Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. What is my attitude towards the outcomes? Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. I understand that outcomes will have your outcome. When you have an action, when you perform an action, there will be outcome. Outcome can be pleasant, unpleasant, favorable, unfavorable. Whatever be the outcome, my attitude is that of a bhakta, prasada buddhi. I take it as a gift, as a prasada from Ishvara. That means my sense of success or failure is not tied to the outcome. If the outcome is good, favorable, pleasant, I am a successful person. If the outcome is not favorable, if not pleasant, I label myself unsuccessful. I am free from this labeling myself based on the result of the outcome. Simple awareness of a reality, being alive to a reality out of 100 actions that I perform. Perhaps 10 actions, the result will be absolutely in my favor. If 10 means you're very successful, 90 outcomes may not be in your favor. So what's your success quotient? 10%. Are you going to have a self-image, a self-acknowledgement based on this? You will say, oh God, I am only a 10% person. And somebody will come and say 20-20 principle, something they will come and tell you. So as it is, you are feeling bad, the world will come and reinforce that you're bad. So when I'm free from the hold of labeling myself successful or unsuccessful based on the result of an action, it is Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. So this was highlighted then in the verses leading up to verse number 53. Yeah, leading up to verse number 53, the last 2-3 verses, the teacher is driving home the benefits of Karma Yoga. So what is the benefit of Karma Yoga? He says, okay, yada, when te buddhi, your buddhi, okay, is free from the mist of delusion, free from the mist of confusion. Okay? When it is free from the mist confusion, when it is in confusion, when you do Karma Yoga, when you are in Karma Yoga, when you have Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, Ishvara Prasada Buddhi, your intellect overcomes Moha Kalilam. Some people say goes beyond. I would say it overcomes Moha Kalilam. Kalilam means mist. Moha means delusion. You have created, conditioned. You have created, the world has created a conditioning that these are the parameters of success. These are the parameters of happiness. And if these parameters and successes are not fulfilled, you are not happy, you are a failure. And this has gone into the system. And unfortunately, your success ratio is, if you are going to link it, if you are going to peg it, if you are going to feel your happiness ratio to the number of actions that have come out successful, the ratio is going to be very poor. You're going to have a very poor self-image. Poor self-image, if you have a low self-image, can you do what is proper? Can you go and talk saying no, the means and the ends must both be proper? You will say, this is the end I need. And you will start justifying great things like all is fair in love and war and things like that. You will justify. You will justify and violate. And when you violate dharma, you will necessarily have a conflict. Let's see how you have a conflict when you violate. It's a simple process. It's a very, very simple process. Okay. You know, let's say, this is green. Oh, let's give you an example. I gave you a long ago, I gave you an example. I gave you an example. In my hand, I am holding a computer. The latest model computer. Some of you will look closely and say, come on. I say, in my right hand, I am holding a computer. In my left hand, I am holding a computer. Up to this point, okay. Beyond this point, it's not. Now I come and say, my left hand, I am holding a tea coaster. Huh? Knowledge takes place. In the previous statements, then you see something, the knower knows this is not a computer. The knower is split by an information that this is a computer. Now what happens? You are not able to reject it outright. Maybe, with some people you say, this fellow is bluffing. Some people can possibly think this fellow is giving Bhagavad Gita lectures, student of Swamiji, claims to have studied, perhaps he is speaking sense. A split is created. In the same way, let us go and do a small thing like something is yellow in color. And you say this is brown in color. There is a knower split. You say this is right. The knower knows this is right. The doing faculty in you is not conforming to the knower. There are faculties, a clear faculty. There is a knower. There is a knower here. These two are doers. These two are doers. This is the knower. This is the doer. You say this reads it as blue, and you say no, that's green. Split, split, split. Split settles in your system. You will say, I will get up at 5 o'clock. The knower says, I will get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. What will the doer say? You will not get up at 5 in the morning. I want to attend satsang without fail. Doer will say, you will not attend satsang. There are more important things to do. This split becomes permanent. And when you are not together, very shanti. When you are in conflict, very shanti, there is peace. How can there be a happy person in a split personality? If you are going to peg your image of yourself to successes which is not under your control, which outcomes which are not under your control, you are going to have a poor self-image. In a poor self-image, how can you conform to dharma? And when you cannot conform to dharma, how can you avoid a split? Vicious circle, you can avoid. How? Ishvara prasada buddhi. In which case, you are no longer pegged to the result. Your happiness comes from doing an action well, dedicating the action to a cause. Artha kama, dharma becomes an independent priority, higher priority. Conforming to dharma is my goal. Ends means definitely matter, provided they fall under dharma. There is a lot of joy in doing things well. I am together as a person. Simple thing. Try. Try it. You have got your credit card bills due. You have got your mobile phone bills due. Let's say you have marked the mobile bill payment for 20th of September, Monday. Today after the talk, and you have put it in your reminder thing, or you have gone into your bank, net banking, and put it as scheduled payment for 20th. Watch two things. On 20th, you will get a ping message. Your scheduled payment is gone. And you will see a message, SMS. Do you see a kutuhalam? Doing a job gives you joy. Just doing. If there is a bill to be paid, you have paid, it gives you joy. Okay? Do one more thing. Go 2 days before. Try tomorrow, 18th. Go into your net banking, prepay the bill. And then look at, and then in your calendar, mark it off as done. Try this, okay? Try this. Mark it off as done. What was the originally be to be done day? 20th. Mark it off 18th. And now look at your calendar. You will see a cross through done. You know there is a lifting when you do things properly and on time or before time. Try this. Even small payment of bills can give you so much happiness. Just imagine then doing bigger things properly. Doing things properly. When you do things properly, sampannam, there is a lot of joy. So this is a primary benefit of doing karma yoga properly. Then what happens to such a person? Tada Gantasi, you will attain Nirvedam. See, the vairagyam that I am initially talking about, the vairagyam that I initially mentioned is something like, that's not good for me. I should not look. Okay. You are going through some area. You are a lover of sweets, and there's an area. You say, no, I should not. I should. This is deliberate life. Now you overcome the desire. You overcome the desire. How will you walk through that locality? That is dispassion becoming spontaneous. Nirvedam, Gantasi Nirvedam. This growth, you grow out of the desire to enjoy. It doesn't mean that you have become a what do you call, Berasik, they say in Hindi. Not somebody who cannot enjoy things. You have grown to be a mature person who knows how to enjoy things well. You know truly how to enjoy things. Enjoy doesn't mean possession. Enjoy doesn't mean having it close to me. Enjoy could also mean watching something grow. I would like you all to do something sometime. Just watch, if possible. I don't know when the season comes. This in Chennai, if you are all in Chennai, and if you are in this Neelankara area, go for a turtle walk. It's done at night. You know these earlier that Ridley turtles, they hatch. The small ones, just out of the eggs, will make their way to the sea. Just watch that. Just watch. You are doing nothing. In observing a natural phenomenon, there is a lot of joy. There is a lot of joy. You don't have to really achieve things. Oh, and it's all conditioning. You don't have to really. If you are able to do, fine. If you are not able to do, fine. This afternoon I was reading my face, some of this is social media. Something came. It is supposed to be what do you call, a latest brand shampoo. You know what delight I will have in shampoo now for another few months at least. I didn't even look at it twice. Even if I buy, what can I do with that? So for a guy who doesn't have hair, what thrill does a bottle of new branded shampoo? Buy one, get two more bottles free. What for? I didn't even look at it. That means you have grown over. You grow over. You are no longer under the grip of Raga Deshwa. Raga is there, Dvesha is there. But you are not under their grip. You are vaccinated. They can't touch you now. They just bounce off. Okay? So this is Yada, Kada, Gantasi, Nirvedam. And what do you get free from? Shrotabhya, Shrutasya cha. See, you have so many things of which you have created a value here. I must buy this, I must buy this, I must buy this, I must become this, I must have this, I must have this, I must do this, I must do this, this. A number of items in the agenda. Number of items in the agenda to be done. There, you have. Now to this, somebody else adds. So you say, I will run 5 miles. Somebody will come and say, 5 miles only a half marathon. You should do 10. Shrotabhya, Sutta, both. You know, Something which you have done yourself, you have heard and you have done yourself, somebody which others have imposed on you. These also create ragadvesha. These also create. You say, I want to, let's say, you go to a pilgrimage spot. And a fellow says, I go there every year. In fact, I've already visited 45 times. 49 times. Next time I go, it will be the 50th. Similarly, they say, when people go on this Sabarimala Yatra and things like that, they break coconuts. If you are on the first visit, you break in the first padi. If you are on the second, you break. So as you are watching, somebody breaks on the 18th step. You say, my God, he has come here 18 times. In the presence of Ishvara, in the presence of a holy place, you have become unhappy. So you free yourself from this. You get dispassionate from this moha. You get free yourself from this moha kalila, and you gain dispassion from things which you have acquired and which you want to acquire, which is known, which is not yet known. Once in a lifetime, I must do this. Once in a while, I must do this. If I must do this, that's a very good thing. I would love to go to some place and watch. I would like to watch one World Cup football final. But suppose I say, if I don't watch it, I am a very incomplete person, then there is a serious problem. I must climb Mount Kailash. What if I am not able? Not able to. Koi farak nahi penda. If that is the attitude, then these raga dveshas will not have any grip on you. Then the next one it says, Shruti vid pratipannate yada syasyati nischala samadha vachala buddhi tata yogam abhapsyasi. So he says, when you do yada, when te buddhi, your buddhi, okay, from the Shruti. See, it is not just that what you hear from others. If you go to the first portion of the Vedas, part 1 of the Vedas, it contains innumerable things that you can do for achieving innumerable ends. There are certain ends which are given, there are certain pleasures which are indicated, which are unimaginable kind of pleasures. And the Shruti says you can achieve all of them. You are allowed to achieve all of them. Only one condition. Conform to Dharma. If you can conform to Dharma, achieve all of them. Assuming you conform to Dharma, and when you achieve all of them, will you, at the end of achieving all of them, be a fulfilled person? Quite simply because actions are limited, results are limited, actions are finite, results are finite, results come to you with 3 doshas. Sukha, Dukha, Mishritatvam, Bandakatvam, Atriptikaram. There will be pleasure, pain mixed. It will never give you total satisfaction. It will keep you bound. It will keep you bound. Even a very punya action will keep you bound. Forget about all these artha kama. Hey, there is a guy I know. There is a guy I know who actually takes care of street dogs. Every morning, what he does is he spends money from his pocket. He has bought nice plates. He spends money from his pocket. He boils rice. He boils milk. He mixes the rice and milk. Eggs he takes, mixes it up well with the rice, and feeds hundreds of dogs in his house. A small bungalow he has got. He puts it in the house, the gates are open. They say dogs come from way far. Punya karma. punya karma. Suppose you go and tell him, let's go next week. Shri Krishna is coming to give a direct exposition of Bhagavad Gita. Forget Shri Krishna. Some good as something is happening. Swamiji is coming. He is going to give a lecture on Bhagavad Gita. Let's spend 1 week with him in the ashram. Will he come? Good action. Definitely good action. Punyam. But Bandi Karam. How can I leave and go? Obviously, to cook and feed so many dogs, money is required. At one point of time, he ran out of money. His income stopped. His children said, we are not going to remit the money to you to feed the dogs. So punya is also about dukkam there. He says, my children don't value my punya. Problems arise. Then he says, okay, I will sell my bangla and feed the dogs. The children said, this fellow is mad. They filed a case and restrained him from selling the bangla. Punya he wanted to feed dogs. And what did the neighbors say? All the neighbors went and complained to the corporation. He just creates a nuisance value. All dogs, all strays come into his house. They come and the dogs are territorial creatures. They all bark and howl and squeal, and the children find it unsafe going outside. So they filed a case and restraining them from doing all this and doing outside this. Punya action only. So even punya action can bite you. So he says, Shruti sometimes gives you, in fact, so Shruti, Vipratipanna. Some of the ends and means given to you and the glory given to you there can confuse you from the goal that you want to follow. What's your goal? What's your purpose? Moksha. This person will say, moksha ko rehne do. Let me achieve all that and then go for moksha. They can confuse you. What does Karma Yoga do? Karma Yoga creates a value. Even the biggest of Artha Kama is, after all, finite. I want moksha. A beautiful story of a young boy called Nachiketa. He goes to Yama and asks him, Yamraj, teach me that. Teach me. Some people say there is life after death. Some people say there is no life after death. Tell me, what is this? Is there some truth? Tell me what is the truth behind it. Young boy ask this to Yamraj. Yamraj says, the question you ask, even Devas find it difficult to understand. Even Devatas find it difficult to understand. The Kanda Puranam says even Brahma did not know properly. Then Muruga asked, he couldn't reply properly. What's the purpose? He didn't know. Then Shiva said, what is the purpose? You ask like a student, I will teach you. So even Devatas find it difficult to understand. You are after all a young boy. So imagine a young boy comes and says, Master, teach me. What will you tell him? I will get you the latest gizmos. Okay? I'll give you all these computer games. I'll get you this. So he says, I will give you rathas, the best of cars. I will give you fine horses. I will give you palaces to live in. I will give you the gourmet cuisine that you can imagine. Deva gourmet cuisine I'll give you. I'll give you women to serve you. Okay. Artha Kama portion of the Vedas gives you 3 types of temptation. Okay. 3 very powerful types of temptation. One is landed province. In Tamil, this beautifully says mand, land. Okay. Second, glittering gold, pun. Third one is pen, women. It will give you unlimited power to enjoy all 3. Not only here, hereafter also. And nobody knows what is hereafter, but this fellow wants to hereafter enjoy. Shruti promises this. First portion of Vedas promises all this. But remember, you have to be in that dharma. If you are in dharma, you can still do this. Nachiketa says, nice Hindi dialogue. Yamaraj, आपकी रथ, आपकी पैलेसेस, आपका भोजन, आप ही को मुबारक हो. I don't want them. For the simple reason, he says, I will give you a long life. He said, the longest of life has to end someday. Look at the viveka of that 8-year-old boy. That longest of life has to end someday. All the pleasures that you give me result in tejaha, my vitality, my potency gets depreciated. Jarayanti tejaha. My potency, my tejas gets it gets blunted. Enjoy a lot of pleasures. At the end of the day, you become a dull, sharpness goes. So what is the way out of confusing you? Give you a lot of pleasures. Mahabharat problem started because of this only. No? Shantanu went to Ganga and said, will you be mine? She said yes. And he was absolutely a divine looking person, so beautiful. So Kalila, Moha Kalila happened. So beautiful. She said, under one condition. You will never ask me any question whatsoever. The day you ask me, I will go away back to my abode. Maike chali jaungi. He said, he agreed. Can a king agree for such conditions? Moha Kalila. Mind went. There was a brain fade. He agreed. What happened? He saw the death of his 8 children. Ganga went away. One of the child came back to make an equally silly promise like his father did. And because of that, the entire parampara suffered. One of the descendants suffered the loss of 100 children. Family rivalry. See? So even the pleasures dull you. And this, a young boy, Nachiketa, knew this. And he had the vairagya to say, no. Brahma Vidya dena hai? Do. Varna, thank you. That is what Karma Yoga will. Clarity. Absolute clarity. It doesn't make you a person, a boring person. Please understand that I don't have, vairagya doesn't mean hatred. Vairagya doesn't mean hatred at all. Vairagya simply says, I don't attach much value to those. Imagine there are so many people here. You are playing a game of chess with your grandchild. You are a grandmaster who has never lost a battle of a chess match with anybody. Would you pursue with the grandchild? You will openly leave your king and say, you check gone, I am checkmated. And there's a lot of joy in losing also. Because your paradigm is different. Moksha, when moksha becomes a reality, when you have tasted the beauty of moksha, would you ever go after all this? That kind of clarity, Karma Yoga gives you. So the benefit of Karma Yoga is concluded in this verse. Krishna says this and smiles. Krishna always had a lovely smile and smiles because he says something is coming. The teacher knows that something is coming. What comes next? Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna asks a question. We look at the question today in detail and then see the answers from next one. Arjuna Uvacha. Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava. Sthita dhiktim prabhasheta kimasita prajeta kim. Once more, slowly. Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha. Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava. Samadhistasya keshava. Whole line. Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava. Sthitadhi kim prabhasheta. Sthitadhi kim prabhasheta स्थितधि किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किमासीत व्रजेत किमासीत व्रजेत Whole line. स्थितधि किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत स्थितधि किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत Whole line, whole verse. स्थित प्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्तस्य केशव स्थितधि किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत Once more. स्थित प्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्तस्य केशव स्थितधि किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत Okay, so he says Sthita Pragya, this enlightened person that you are talking about, you say Karma Yoga will lead you to what is called a Jivan Mukta. You become a Jivan Mukta. A Jivan Mukta person is called a Sthita Pragya. One, his Pragya, whose knowledge is steady. One is absolutely clear about the absolute reality. One who knows what is transactional reality. One who knows who is absolute reality is absolutely clear. Such a person is called as Sthita Pragya. Sthita Pragyasya ka bhasha. How would you define a Sthita Pragya? Samadhis tasya keshava. How does he sleep? Does he sleep at all? Okay. Kim prabhashyata. What does he speak? How does he speak? Kim asita. How does he sit down? How does he move? Simple questions. It happens. Suppose somebody comes and tells you there is a Bhagavad Gita teacher who has come to town and he teaches with absolute clarity, and all of us use that language. Oh, sir, you must listen to him. I'm going to meet him. So what's the question you ask? Hey, how does he look? He wants him. Does he have a dadi? Is there a halo around behind his head? How does he talk? How does he talk means, does he always talk slowly? So you're talking about a mindful person. I talk about a mindful person whose responses are filtered and they come from the objective space, inner leisure. So how do I talk? So you come and ask me, hello Mohan, how are you? How will I am supposed to reply you? What will you think? I am madman? No? How is your leg now? Oh, it's after all a leg. The Atma, am fine. I had to go through some pain and I haven't feel that pain. Suppose I talk like this, what will you think of me? These are the thoughts in your mind. These questions are asked by everybody. How does a successful fellow look like? Is he physically different? Does he walk 2 feet above the ground? Does he have a halo? Does he have that permanent smile on his face? His eyes rolled into his skull? Does he constantly hold his hand like this? Does he always say, this Baba, that Baba? How does he eat? What does he eat? Are these questions asked? Suppose I say, no, I'm bringing Swamiji to your house. Yes, Swamiji, or an enlightened Gita teacher comes. What does he eat? You're all clear, he's a vegetarian. Unless then I bring somebody from the Ramakrishna order and you decide he's vegetarian, you say, Amita mangsho khai. Mangsho khai na, mach khai. So you show me eating fish. You have laid down physical standards. We have personally had these experiences. Swamiji asked for AC, is it? He wants AC hotel only, is it? Will the Swamiji, no, I mean, you have to get a special plate for Swamiji, you have to get it in this, you have to get it in this. Will he use fork and knife or will he eat? All these questions, you think an enlightened person means he has to behave differently. Does he behave differently? Can I talk to him common subjects. Can I go and tell him I've had a financial loss? Can I go and tell him? Yes, can possibly. Can I go and tell him, look, I'm going through a painful separation in the family? Can you go and tell him that I had a love failure? Can a girl go and tell him, look, man cheated me and I'm left with this baby and things? Can you go and talk with Swami all this? These are the questions which bug you and me. This is what. So therefore, when Krishna answers this question, we'll see in the next session, when a question is raised, always remember, Bhagavan Ramana said, ask who is asking this question, meaning where is this question coming from? From what role is your question originating? When the father says something and the son asks a question, the father should, before answering the question, think, is the son asking this question? Is generally the son asking this question, or is my son asking this question? There are so many questions there in his mind. So don't just answer the question, answer the person. That's why Krishna smiled. Sita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava. How does he sleep? Does he sleep? Because he read somewhere. No? He read somewhere that this person is awake to realities. What is the meaning of awake to realities? You give him a laddu. Why don't you eat laddu? Why don't you eat laddus? Laddus don't give you tripti. Laddus come with pain and pleasure. Bandi karam, I will want another laddu tomorrow. No, I don't do this. I don't do this. Is he like that? Sita pragyasa ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sidadi kim prabhasheta kim asita prajeta kim. These are the questions we ask. We have the questions, all these questions. How does Astita Pragya behave? Krishna could have simply said he behaves like you and me. In fact, that's going to be the teaching. When the teaching is unfolded, okay, we have to understand that this is an enlightened person will behave like this. One, they are the traits of enlightenment. For you and me, sadhakas, these could be a value which you could pursue to live a relatively conflict-free life. So from whichever angle you see, you can relate to these verses. Karma Yoga, all of us can relate. You know there is a lot of pleasure in doing things proper way. Okay? Simple. Some of us here, we all did an online play. For just the audition, one artist came so well dressed. For a moment, we thought it was a final of the play, not just audition. The artist came so well dressed. And when we said, oh my God, it suits you so well, the person was delighted. It will mind you, it was only an audition. So when you do things well, there is a lot of joy. You can relate to that. You can relate, if not to absolute reality, at least absolute reality as a value you can relate. When I give you the example of gold, you can relate. But you can definitely relate to transactional reality. That there are roles have problems. If I can keep the problem of the role with the role, I am free from conflict. You can relate to it. If not, I can give you one more example. If a neighbor has a problem, a severest of problem, he has lost all his money, there is an electric, circuits, something that happened, his house, entire wiring is burnt out. The fellow is devastated. What will you advise him? Hey, sleep here tonight. Tomorrow I know somebody, we will help you. Don't get by jumping around, nothing will be solved. It is 12 o'clock midnight. Please come sleep today. Tomorrow we will see. Hey, once I was going somewhere in my car, one of those beaten up things. Now I sold it. And suddenly somebody braked in the front. It was one of those, those small cars, not cars, that tup-tup vandi which carries goods. You know, it creates more damage than good. He braked hard. So behind him, another car braked hard and hit him. Then, uh, in front, just behind that car, was a BMW. So the BMW hit that fellow, and my car hit the BMW. And then we all sorted out. We all found out that fellow was blamed. I said, okay, here I've got a lecture to give. Across the road, I was going to a management institute to give a lecture. I told the driver, you take care and talk to all these people. I called the management institute. They said, we will send the car and pick you up. And then the fellow who was not, he said, sir, I am only driver, sir, not owner, sir. I don't have money to pay for all the damage. Please talk to my owner. So two beaten up cars, and in between a BMW. Knocked in the beginning, knocked in the back. Now, what will we say very philosophically? Yeah, unfortunate. Now, go into the mind of the fellow who got that car, and the car is going to be delivered to that fellow that day. How philosophical and neighborly attitude you have when it comes to the neighbor's car's damage. So we are able to relate to it. But when it comes to others, I'm a very good philosopher, but when it comes to me, that's a reality. You have to be alive to this reality and slowly bring into this. So we are able to relate to relative reality, transactional reality. We know what is subjective reality, daydreams and things like that. We know when I do a karma properly, I get a lot of joy. Conforming to law, conforming to what is proper gives me a lot of joy. Doing simple things without waiting for big results to come. Okay, some of us sit together and sing some songs once in a while. Simple cinema songs. Few of us here. And when we sing together, suppose I tell, this is the note you have to reach. And my friend sings and reaches the note. You know the joy that comes? We have not won an Oscar. I am not even have an audience in front of me. I don't even have an audience. But the joy in doing something well. So Karma Yoga you are able to relate to. You are able to relate that all of us ask questions when we hear about something, somebody. Each point we are supposed to relate and make it our Gita. Next week, we will see what Gita Acharya has to say. 23rd of September is Pujya Swami Dayananji's Samadhi Day, Mahasamadhi Day. It's a Thursday. If it were a class, I would have possibly told you something. On Friday, I will definitely tell you something about Swamiji. I will definitely share some thoughts on Swamiji. 23rd is a Samadhi Day. If anybody is interested, you can come online and I could tell you stories. I'll be doing a small Paduka Puja in the evening. You could participate. I'll share some thoughts of Swamiji. Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samastha Svino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yam Shobharahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhaya Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Sadgurunath Maharaj की जय स्वामी दयानंद महाराज की जय सब संतों की जय पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय बजरंग बली की जय जय May Ishvara be with you. We will have a glorious week. Okay. We'll meet next week.